Ten,
Stand by
nine,
to take studio.
7, 6,
Stand by
5,
camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of MCTV News. I'm your host, Elizabeth Nelson.
And I'm Weston Stevenson. On today's show, Kara Suvan gives us a look at the local business LWC Homestead. Elizabeth Nelson takes us to the Animal Wellness Vet Clinic. Tice Gagnon gives us a look at the MCHS track athletes that represented the school at districts. And Brianna Farough previews her upcoming MCTV documentary. As well, Brianna interviews MCTV alumnus Amanda Trimble about her work in television and movies as a video coordinator. But first, here's our top story.
Each year around the beginning of May, MCHS hosts all of the local G Sacred Junior High students here in Morinville for their annual track meet. Junior high students have the opportunity to participate in 3 or more events from track or field events. These students prepare for their events in their designated event through their physical education courses. This day is filled with lots of team spirit and competition among students. Here to bring us the information on the junior high track meet is reporter Ryan Cox.
I'm here at the junior high track meet, which is an annual event held at MCHS that tests grade 7, 8, and 9 students in various events such as running, jumping, and throwing. If you ever wondered what track and field teaches you, these students give the insight on what actually track and field teaches you.
It teaches me how to be more active and how to enjoy some sports, and it allows me to try new things that I probably normally wouldn't do.
For me, I think it teaches you, how to be a good sport about things, how to be active and, how to be active but competitive.
It kind of gives us an experience for what we could do in the future, like the Olympics, and what we could experience at the Olympics.
These students shared what events they competed in and their favorite events at the grade 9 track meet.
I'd probably say my favorite events, the 100 or the 200.
My favorite event would be long jump. It's just, long jump, I'm pretty good at jumping, and yeah.
For me, I really like high jump. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm pretty good at it.
Now we get to see the results of how these students did in their events they competed in at the track meet.
I'd say I'm pretty good. I got 3rd earlier today when I did it, and so I think I'm pretty good, and if I practice more, then I could be even better.
All around, I definitely have done probably worse than I have in previous years, although it is my first year trying shot put, and I've got 2nd on it, so that's a pretty good improvement on it overall.
The grade 9 track meet will forever be a staple yearly event at MCHS. This has been Ryan Cox reporting.
Welcome back. As we spring into summer, we've seen a lot of above 20-degree weather rather than our usual rainy, cloudy days this spring. Here to tell us that the warm weather filled with clear skies is here to stay is MCTV's very own meteorologist, Weston Stevenson.
Thanks, Liz. Let's take a look at the weather across the country. Up in Whitehorse, it's about 12 degrees with some showers. Down in Vancouver, it's about 19 degrees with some more showers. Regina is around 27 and sunny. Yellowknife with some clouds but 28. And Winnipeg is sunny with 28. Over in Toronto, it looks like we have some rain and it's 30 degrees. Montreal is also rainy but at 19. Halifax is 27 degrees with some clouds. St. John's is about 21 with sunny as well. And Iqaluit is 5 degrees with a little bit of sun. Let's take a look at our provincial weather. Up in high level, looks like there's some thunderstorms and a 31-degree temperature. Grand Prairie is 29, also with some thunderstorms. Jasper is 23 with some thunderstorms. And Banff is 25 with some thunderstorms. Medicine Hat is 31 with some sun. Calgary, again with thunderstorms, but 31. Red Deer, thunderstorms at 30. Edmonton is at 20 degrees with some thunderstorms. And Fort McMurray is 34. Let's take a look at our current conditions. It looks like we're sitting at 29 degrees with a wind of 30 kilometers an hour south. The relative humidity is 30 degrees. Sunrise today was at 5:13 and sunset was at 9:51. Let's look at our 7-day forecast. Today was 31 as a high with a low of 10, sunny. Friday, high of 22 with a low of 11. Clouds on Saturday with 28 and a low of 8. Sunday is going to be 16 with a low of 7 with a bit of clouds. Monday is going to be a bit of thunderstorm with 15 and a low of 6. Thunderstorm on Tuesday as well with a high of 17. Wednesday, thunderstorm, low of 10. But overall, the 7-day forecast is looking nice for start to the summer. Back to you, Liz.
Thanks, Weston. Recently, Morinville has welcomed a brand new small business. LWC Homestead is a local business offering farm fresh eggs. This family-owned business is excited to get to know all of us here in Morinville and provide quality products. Here to give us the inside scoop into this chicken coop is Kara Subban.
Are the average egg prices becoming too much for you? Fear not, because the LWC Homestead brings Morinville fresh farm eggs every 2 to 3 days. For low prices, the Homestead is a non-profit business run by Cheryl Kyle. All earnings are put towards the care for the wonderful chickens that produce our fresh eggs. Last weekend, I went to see these hard-working chickens and find out what really started it all.
The business kind of just happened for me. About a year ago, I was gifted this opportunity, showed up to work one day, was told by the CEO, Wanda, that we had some chickens on site. Here we believe animals are a great healing source for our clients as well as our employees. So having horses already on site, adding chickens felt like a great addition. The way the business started was about 6 months ago. We had an overabundance of eggs, and I just wanted to share the wealth of delicious farm fresh eggs with friends, family, and the community. So not only do our staff and clients get the benefit of these eggs, but our community as well. I only charge enough to maintain the chickens' health and well-being. No profit is made because this is just whatever money we attain is to take care of the chickens.
With all these eggs, there is definitely enough to share. Alongside my bias for farm eggs, I cued into the future plans of this small business.
Is to add more chickens to my flock. I've already added the 9 babies that you'll see. I will be adding more babies next year. The babies that are here right now are about 10 weeks old. Not integrated with the larger flock yet, but will be soon. Hopefully to just keep the community and friends eating farm fresh eggs for a long time.
For MCTV News, this is Kara Subban reporting.
Here are your school announcements for Thursday, May 29th. The town of Morinville is seeking local MCHS artists. They are looking for students to capture an illustration for the flags which hang on the light post down the main street of town. Students are encouraged to submit a fine art, digital design, or photograph of a location here in Morinville. If you're interested in participating, please submit your designs to Mr. Petrosevsky by June 1st. MCHS is bringing back the student-run newspaper, The Howler. You can purchase copies of The Howler by the office at lunch for $1 a copy. Students who pay close attention to the articles can answer a question to be entered into a draw for a prize. This week's question is, what is the goal of the Student Council's dance committee? When you have the answer, please stop by the office to enter the draw. This week, Student Council is running a Spirit Week, encouraging students to dress up according to the given prompt. Advertised all over the school on posters and our weekly announcements, you can find each day's prompt. So far, students have dressed up for Monochromatic Day, Decades Day, Twin Day, and Disco Day. Be sure to join us for the final day of Spirit Week by dressing up for Into the Future Day this Friday. For these and all other school information, keep connected by listening and logging on to the school's daily announcements, logging on to the school website at www.gsacred.ab.ca, or by following the school on Facebook, Twitter/X, or Instagram. As well, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching MCTV Morinville.
For people looking to find a vet in Morinville, on Main Street, there's a local veterinary clinic that gives a large variety of procedures to maintain your pet's health or to keep them safe, such as microchipping or multiple types of surgery. Reporter Elizabeth Nelson gives us a look at our business.
The Animal Wellness Vet Clinic is a local clinic situated here in Morinville. The clinic began in 2013 and is here to serve a variety of our beloved domestic animals, from cats and dogs to the occasional hamster and bunny. Many employees give us a better look into what the Animal Wellness Vet Clinic is and what are their goals.
We are a veterinary practice that serves kind of Morinville and surrounding area for people's companion animals. So mainly they're dogs and cats, but sometimes we see other types of animals as well.
Small town vet clinic, we are doing our best to provide the best quality of medical care we can to the community, and at the same time understanding that people have limitations and we are willing to work with them.
The animal wellness team is determined to offer the best possible care to our favorite furry friends. Many of the clinic staff illustrate their favorite parts of working at the clinic.
I think my favorite part is just being able to make pets feel better and live their best lives.
My favorite part is just getting to be the vet and getting to make the decisions. Truly, it's helping people with their animals.
As employees illustrate their love and passion for working with animals, many employees have and remember what initially inspired them to work in this unique workforce.
It started when I was pretty young. My dad had grown up on a farm, so I would go to his farm and milk cows, work with the horses.
From the time I was about 5 years old, I was determined that I was either going to be a vet or work at the vet.
Did a whole entire bachelor's degree in zoology. And so I was looking for a job, found a job at a vet clinic as an assistant, was seeing all the things the techs were doing, and I was like, I want to do that.
It is clear the animal wellness team is determined to offer the best possible treatment and care for all of your animals' needs. Open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you can access any number of their veterinary services. This local clinic cannot wait to help serve and provide your beloved pets with the best possible care. This is Elizabeth Nelson reporting for MCTV News.
Welcome back. Here are all your recent sport updates. In the NHL, NBA, and MLB is MCTV's very own sports expert, Gagnon.
Thanks, Weston. In the NHL, the Panthers upset the Hurricanes, beating them 5-3. The Hurricanes were leading 2-0 after the first period, but out of nowhere, the Panthers scored 3 goals in just 4 minutes in the second. Seth Jarvis tied the game in the third, but Florida scored 2 unanswered goals to finish off the game. The Panthers are back in the finals for a 3rd straight year in a row, and now a Florida team has been in the finals for 6 years straight. In the NBA, the Thunder crushed the Timberwolves 124-94, keeping them in double digits. Thunder kept them only to 9 points in the first quarter, giving themselves a big lead. This year's MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, had 34, 7, and 8, being the Thunder's top performer, while Julius Randle had 24, 5, and 3, being the Timberwolves' top performer. OKC will be back in the finals since 2012, either playing against the Pacers or the Knicks. MLB, the Blue Jays kept the Rangers from scoring, winning 2-0. The Dodgers lost to the Guardians 7-4. The Red Sox kept it a close game but lost 6-5 against Brewers. White Sox had a great game against the Mets, beating them 9-4. And for the last game, the Nationals swept the Mariners 9-0. Coming up next, earlier this month, I had a chance to talk with members of MCHS track team as they competed to districts. It was a huge day for our students as they attempted to qualify for the upcoming provincial track meet. Here is my story.
On May 21st, track athletes from MCHS competed in Edmonton at the U of A against other schools in their zone. Today I'm going to ask athletes on what the competition was like and what events there is to compete in.
Honestly, this year I thought it was more competitive than grade 10. But still it's our zone isn't that bad. But I know provincials is going to be more competitive.
It was a lot easier than last year, I'd say. I guess because we went to a different school and we weren't really in the St. Albert district, but still, it was a lot easier than last time.
The competition I faced has been pretty difficult. I got second at our zone meet. The first place guy only threw a meter ahead of me in discus, and the competition has been good though. It's challenging, it's not easy going to a meet. It brings up the competitive side of me.
Students faced some tough competition, but were still able to place in their events. Let's take a look next at what events they did compete in.
I participated in the 100 meter, 200 meter, and then the 4x1 relay race.
I did the 800, the 1500, 300 meter hurdles, and high jump.
I participated in shot put and discus. I've always just been pretty good at throwing. I did good in discus last year, so same with shot put, so I'm doing it again this year. I got second in our zones, so I'm going to provincials for discus, so just gonna prep for that.
There's many events to take part in, but let's listen next to how they would prepare for their events.
I hit the gym lots, hit hamstrings, get some chest, especially for discus when I'm competing in. You need your chest muscles to be big to throw that discus. Working on like balance and coordination, stretching before games and meets and stuff like that, eating well, sleeping well, drinking lots of water, lots of that stuff.
Just have practice like every day after school. So like the runners are on certain days, and then high jump and throwers are on a different day. So it's just practice. If you want to like get better, you just gotta like show up and work hard.
Just kind of did sprints pretty much. I ran a couple of 100s every couple of practices and the 200s then. And then I just stretched all before all my events.
Track and field is a great way to be active and play for your school. If you place well for an event, you may be able to go to provincials and face more competition. More people should participate in track so they can be as good or even better than others. This is Tice Gagnon signing off.
Welcome back. Last week, we had an interview with former MCTV student Jasmine King, who went on to become a journalist for Global News here in Canada. Today, we bring in another MCTV alumni who's worked as a video coordinator on shows like The Last of Us, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Fraggle Rock. Today, we welcome former student Amanda Trimble to our set. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate being here.
So, for my first question, I just kind of want to know like your story and how you got from like being a student here in MCTV to going to work on shows like the biggest show filming in America at one point.
I was, how would Booter say it? I was very direct with what I wanted to do. I was a grade 9 student who was in the dark room all the time and just kind of hanging out here. And I pestered him enough that I think he allowed me to stay for class, and I was able to fit it in my schedule. From there, I wanted nothing more than to be in the studio, in the dark room, filming outside, and that kind of led me to going into University for Sciences, which I did not pursue. Coming back to the high school, asking for advice, and a former teacher, Mr. DeWald, and Mr. Baudestein both said, "We told you, get into film." So I listened to them, I guess, just a year late, and wound up at Red Deer College when they had that film program. Went through that, went to Vancouver to take the trainee program for camera, and then from there was able to come home, work in both Vancouver and Calgary quite a bit, outside of Edmonton, outside of Morinville, and now I get asked to travel for work, which is pretty great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I bet that's like so fun, especially going like to like the other portions of like especially Vancouver and all that. Like it sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it's much wetter in Vancouver. But yeah, no, I've had the opportunities to work in Cancun, as well as all over BC, all over Alberta, and yeah, hoping for America soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of the struggles that people don't really talk about getting into filmmaking, and some struggles that people don't talk about when you're like in it and you're in the community and like you're trying to maintain that kind of career?
Yeah, it's tough. It's gig economy. It is contract to contract. It's not always full time. Sometimes it's seasonal. Sometimes it's feast or famine. People don't talk about how difficult it can be to get into film, because a lot of people don't know that you can get into film in Alberta, especially. They think you have to move to Vancouver or Toronto to get in. But we have a pretty good industry here. It's difficult because you need to find those opportunities to network without being within that group already. So a lot of it is hard because you have to push for yourself to get into these rooms and to get onto these sets. You can't wait for something to come by, because it won't come by. Something that people don't talk about, and that I, as an elder within the film industry now, talk about a lot with newer people coming in, is it is feast or famine. Even if you are in a busier hub of Vancouver or Toronto, you have to pay attention to where your money goes, and you have to be smart with it. You have to save for a rainy day. You have to save in case another strike happens. You have to work hard when you can get work, and it gets really hard to do a work-life balance that a lot of us struggle with while we're doing it, because of you don't want to say no, because what if work doesn't come again?
For sure.
So I've finally, after almost 12 years, I'm finally at that position where I feel comfortable enough saying I'm not available 8 months in advance. I'm not available because I am taking time this time.
For sure.
You know, so it's hard, but you have to make boundaries, and you have to be ready for no work if no work comes.
Are there any like way to like, do you follow like curves in filming? Like, is there any like way to kind of predict those, or is it just kind of take what you can get?
I am in a position where I can be a little choosy now with my experience and with my niche type of work that I do.
Yeah.
I can be a little pickier. So yes, there are definitely years where it's like I have to just say yes to all of this because I need the work now, or I'm building my resume, I have to say yes to all of this. So there's definitely, you can hear a month in advance of something coming, so it's kind of just keeping your ear to the ground, listening, paying attention. Doing really well on the show that you're on currently leads you to more work. The production manager might be like, oh yeah, no, this was a really good lighting team, this was a really good grip team, whatever. I want to bring them to the next show because they want to succeed. So it's a lot of, maybe you don't know that work is coming, but somebody has you in mind for something else.
Yeah, for sure. So you work as an independent video company, especially for larger scale productions. Do you bring your own equipment, or is there software and equipment that is provided for you? And do you have a preference either way?
So when I was in camera, now that I'm in video, it's a little different. When I was in camera, we went through a rental house. We would be supplied with the gear, but we would have to bring our own bags, our own support gear, bags, carts, whatever you kind of needed to build the camera to make it work for whatever build. As video though, there are a lot of aspects of my job that rental houses don't have. They can't accommodate. So it is my own gear package that I bring from show to show. I am in business with my mentor and my my old boss in video. So between him and I, we have enough gear that we outfit these shows for our department.
Oh wow, yeah. That's insane. Yeah, to have like those options too of all that gear, that's probably like really, really handy.
Yeah.
So, sorry, what's the day-to-day kind of work schedule? Like, are there repetitive tasks that you do kind of all the time? Are there long projects that go on for like entire shooting periods? Is it like there's something new every day? Like kind of what does your like kind of work schedule kind of look like from day to day?
It definitely depends on the project. I've done, as you mentioned earlier, shows like The Last of Us and shows like Fraggle Rock. So you go from a sci-fi high-end network TV show to like big budget to a kids show. Little different. Every day starts off the same. You show up to work, ready to work, smile on your face, you hope, and you unload your gear, or you set up your gear, or you watch the blocking, you get an idea of where you need to go. So everything is very similar day to day. What you do day to day is very different depending on the show. One day you might be on a mountainside with an avalanche and a horde of zombies coming out of the side of it. The other day you might have fake glitter dusting happening on the set. You know, it's very different project to project, day to day. And then there's some shows where it is the exact same every single day. So it really depends. There's also projects where I just did something that was only 3 weeks long versus, you know, one show was 13 months long.
Oh wow.
You know, so it's very different project to project and job to job.
Yeah. What kind of goes into the planning of like what to shoot each day? Because I'm sure it's a very lengthy process to like kind of accommodate. Like what gets considered when accommodating? What gets considered for your aspect when you're trying to like plan these days?
I, luckily, am not the person who comes up with the schedule. That is an assistant director who sits down with production, with the production manager, with the producers, with the actors, all this kind of stuff, and builds the schedule for the project. Whether that's every night somebody's sitting down and they're doing this, which happens, or they're sitting down, they're creating the 3-month-long schedule. This is where we got to shoot this, blah, 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 blah. Things that they take into consideration would be actor availability, location availability, budget, what you need for daylight, if you need all week, like a whole week of nights, or if you need a day shot here, whatever, interior, exterior, if there's a stunt, if there's an intimate scene, there's all of these things that come into place. And sometimes it comes down to, we can't get the 100-foot techno crane until this day because this show is using it, because there's only one in Western Canada, you know, that kind of thing. So they have to take into consideration a lot.
Yeah.
If there's a holiday, if there's this, it's available, you know, all of this kind of stuff. If an actor got sick or was injured, they have to move stuff. For me, I look at that schedule when I get it at the beginning of each block or the beginning of each show, and I say, okay, so for this day, this day, this day, I might need an additional person, and then I have to write up a proposal.
Oh,
Be
wow.
like, hey, I need additional crew, I need a different people, all of this kind of stuff. Or, hey, I noticed that we're going to this mountain halfway through the schedule. I think we might need A, B, C.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do as well, is you have to be very detail oriented. If you're the head of department, go through and be like, okay, this is what to expect. Otherwise, the night before you look and you're like, okay, are we moving tonight? Yes, we are. Do we need rain cover? Do we need this? Do we need that? All of that kind of stuff the night before.
Wow, yeah, that sounds like a heck of a juggling act. And my final question, you are one of the only female film coordinators in at least this side of the country. What is it kind of like to kind of carry that title, and is there any message that you would give to maybe other students or other girls looking to get into this industry?
Yeah, it's film, especially camera, is very male dominated still. Camera and video, very male dominated. It is getting better. We are having more representation. I am the only union video coordinator in Western Canada. I'm sure there are other video coordinators on like commercials, but that's not my world. So I'm getting, you know, big shows for this. I'm also one of the younger coordinators, which is all thanks to the help that I got along the way and the support that I still receive. My biggest piece of advice is networking with the right people and pushing yourself forward and putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations of asking for help, asking for guidance, and pushing yourself forward. I didn't ever want to do video when I was a camera assistant. And then when I was a video assistant, I was like, wow, I never want what my boss was doing. It's like, that's a lot of stress. I don't want to do that at all. That sounds terrible. And then he was like, you have to do the show. You have to go for it. And I'm like, okay. And it was, you know, his mentorship and his support with other like competing video guys supporting me and mentoring me when I needed help. And I would give anything to help somebody else do that when I'm farther along. So I think my advice is, if you want it, go for it. And ask the questions. Put yourself in those spaces.
Like market yourself too. Like
100%, absolutely.
Show people that you want this.
Absolutely,
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
back
thank
into
you.
the studio. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to have you today.
Awesome.
Thanks
so much.
Next up, a teaser of a documentary of our very own MCTV class, which may be coming soon. There are many moving parts off screen that make up our charming news station, and I aim to shed a little light on some of the unseen leaders behind the set.
3, 2, and 1, go. What you see today is very much a very polished news style.
Yeah, so I need you paying attention to Cam 2 the whole time, you're Cam 1 the entire time.
So many different jobs and positions, and there's just so many moving parts that go into each and every show that aren't even seen on set.
Very different than the product you see in front of you today. It's Keith, and I think it's Keith. It's all through.
5, 6, Stomach camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, fade to black, and we're just going to call it a day.
Take studio.
7, fade to black, fade through.
And that's it for another episode of MCTV News. Join us again for our next episode, where we will be bringing you pieces on student services, another installation into our John of All Trades series, an MCTV documentary, a student perspective on MCHS, and lastly, a recap of MCHS's 2024-2025 school year. All this plus your weekly weather forecast and sports recaps on Wednesday, June 4th.
So, semester's almost over.
I know, I can't believe 10 days till we're like seniors in
Yeah.
high school. I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's, you know.
Oh my gosh, 3 years of MCTV and we're on to our 4th. I can't wait.
From all of us at MCTV News, I'm Weston Stevenson.
And I'm Elizabeth Nelson. Thanks for stopping by.